Yes, indeed. It's a UFC 309 watch along on the Ringside Report Network. Let's do it.
Start.
Yes, we're here. I'm here. Freddie is here. Freddie! What's happening?
What's up?
You know, we're doing the thing. We're having a good time. We're watching UFC 309. I've actually watched some prelims. Ooh, he's got a beverage, tasty beverage in front of him.
Hot tea.
Making adjustments on the fly. Hot tea. It looked like beer. I thought you were drinking beer. I was surprised.
I've been enjoying my tea in these WWE glasses. It's Ric Flair.
Very nice. It's tea talk with Fred. Tea time. Tea time. Tea time.
Peppermint tea, the best.
Peppermint. Wow. Wow. Look at you. So we've got fights happening here, Fred. Jon Jones, Stipe Miocic. It could be the end for both of them tonight. It's all happening. Ooh, my boy Russell Simcoe is in the chat. AJ is in the chat. Shout out Russell.
Where you at, AJ?
Yeah, where's AJ? How come AJ's not here? My boy Russell, I know, would enjoy what I got over here, baby. We are rocking. We are ready for the holidays. Look at this thing. Woo! Da 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 da. We gotta look how festive, baby. Look at that. It's the holiday season. We're getting ready.
I mean, since you're there and I'm watching some college football at the same time, I've been wanting to tell you, I found a team for you, man. You should be a BYU fan.
Why?
They're undefeated this year, and they got that their starting quarterback is the only Jewish quarterback in Division I football, and he likes to nickname himself the BY Jew from BYU. So, kind of cool nickname.
Wow. There is a Jewish quarterback in college football?
And they're undefeated, man.
Whoa.
I think they're ranked number 5 or something.
Wow. That's nice. Russell, did you know about this? Were you aware of this? You know, Fred, you know what's interesting? As soon as I pulled out the menorah, the views on YouTube dropped significantly. Everybody was like, no, I better put this away. I was just watching. I was like, wait a second. Everybody's dropping. What happened? People don't like Jewish talk, man. They don't like it, you know? It's a tough time, man. It's a tough time. Russell says, put it away. I put it away. I put it away. Jon Jones, Stipe could be the last
BYU.
one. Yeah, BYU. There you go. I'm with it. I may, I don't know. Football's tough for me to watch. It's hard for me to get interest in football. I don't really watch it. I like fighting. I understand fighting. I thought we were going to see Chris Weidman fight Eric Anders tonight. It didn't happen.
Canceled.
That sucks. He was on my parlay, Eric Anders.
I'm not sure what happened, but Eric Anders is the one that pulled out. Hey, RFK Jr.
Isn't that Tulsi Gabbard next to him?
I'm not sure. I didn't notice.
There's Elon and Trump and Kid Rock and Dana White all front row together. That is quite a crew. How come RFK is sitting behind them? Like he's in a row in the back? How is Kid Rock more important than RFK at this situation? I mean, Elon, I get. It's quite a crew at this UFC pay-per-view here at Madison Square Garden. The future and former president Donald Trump.
Why is Kid Rock there? Is he friends?
Kid Rock.
Is he friends with Trump? Like how does that go? Does he call Donald and say, "Yo, what's up, Don? We going to the UFC?" Or Donald calls him? I'm not sure. Wondering.
You talking about Donald and Kid Rock? How they make plans?
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like him, Dana, and Trump have like a group text going. And they're like, yo, let's call Elon, get Elon in this, you know? I think it's like, yo, Donnie, are you coming to the fights? You know? I've got tickets for you, ringside. Trump's like, of course, that would be terrific. Kid Rock's like, bah with the bah, ba-dang, diggy, diggy. You know? And then
My
Elon's like, yes,
name
I
is
will be
Kid.
there. I could be there in the spaceship, no problem. It's like, all right, dude.
But
Chill.
Arnold's there also? I didn't see
I
Arnold.
don't know. I didn't see Schwarzenegger. That's my Elon impression. I don't have a good one.
Oh, that's Elon? Okay. That sounded like
Elon Musk. I don't know. He talks weird. I don't know what that accent is. I think he's like South African or something.
Yeah.
He's not American, I'll tell you that much, Fred. He's not American. I don't know if I trust him around the president. He's not from America. You wonder what his true intentions are, brother.
Since he's South African, he's probably African American. So right now, you're being racist, man.
You're right. I apologize. How dare I call Elon an African American, not really American? That's truly racist. You are correct. That is very, very bad. What? Yeah, I mean, it's just weird. It's just weird to have those guys there, and to play the video of Trump. Like, they played this, like, Trump hype video in the arena, too. It felt like a Republican campaign event more than a UFC fight for a moment there. It was just weird.
Just a celebration, man.
Yeah, but I don't know why you got to have political celebrations at the UFC. Like, I've said this the whole time. It doesn't matter who it is or who you root for or whose team you're on. It's the fights. It's supposed to be, not about politics and all sorts of stuff. Like, it's supposed to be an escape from all that. But when it gets tied into it, it's kind of, I don't know, it's uncomfortable. I don't need to see all that. I don't need to see American politics when I'm watching fights.
I'm all good with it.
Man, why does it have to be in everything, though, man? Remember when it was just, like, for nerds on Sunday morning? What happened?
Man, you really want to go there?
No.
Because I could go there.
But you know what I mean? It's like, come on.
Yeah,
Why
I know what you mean, man.
When
I watch the NBA,
cultural
when I watch the NBA and they just like go all over like all the lefty talking points, I'm like, oh man, I don't want to watch the NBA no more. I completely understand what you're saying.
No matter where you sit, it's a turnoff. This is why Jordan never endorsed anybody, never said anything either way, and everybody loved him because no one knew. It's better that way if nobody knows. I don't like knowing, you know? I don't want to know. I don't want to see it. Like, just give me the fights. Don't give me the other stuff. Because then it makes me wonder, like, what's going on? What's really happening? What messages are they trying to send? It's creepy. Oh, well. I do think it's cool that a future president shows up to the fights. Like, I think that's fine. If he wants to go to the fights, I think that's cool. I just don't need the UFC to play a hype video for him. It's like, all right, give him a good seat, take care of him, of course. But, like, do you have to show the video making him seem like, you know? You know what I mean? Like, it was a step too far.
I didn't really see the video, so I can't comment, but I'm all good with it, man. I mean, if you don't like it, just don't listen to it, man. Move on.
But I have to. I'm watching the fights. This is what I'm saying. It interrupts my enjoyment of fights because it's like, yo, all of a sudden it's like a Republican commercial. I don't need all that.
That's the time you should have been outside smoking weed.
Yeah, you're right. I mistimed everything. You're correct about that. We're about to see a fight, Fred. It is
a mismatch.
Is it? I don't even know who these guys are. I know who
According to the odds, it's a mismatch. It's Ruffy and is that his name? I'm not even
Llontop.
Sure.
Ruffy.
Ruffy.
Mauricio Ruffy.
I think it's Ruffy.
I'm
not sure. I think it's
a minus 1,000 favorite. Llontop plus 650, the underdog. So Llontop's supposed to wound up Lon Bottom.
I mean, also the under 1.5 round is a minus 150. So the odds maker seems to think it's a mismatch and it's not gonna last too long. So let's see, man. Come on,
good.
Ruffy.
That's what we want to see, right?
Who has Ruffy beat on his resume? Not even sure.
No.
Let's go see that.
Did AJ put this guy in his parlay? AJ's not with us tonight because I don't know where he is, honestly.
He's trying to get He's trying to get a legal team to sue the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight because he's crazy.
We got to talk about that. Doug Hepburn in the chat says, Dave, you called that Tyson fight to a T, which, I mean, yeah, not happy I did. I wish I hadn't. I wish I could have, been surprised because it really sucked, didn't it? I told you it was going to suck, and it sucked. What about Ruffy?
Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah.
He has the nerd glasses. Like, okay, I'm putting a face to the guy.
There's a lot of these team nerd or whatever it is, fight nerds.
Yeah.
Caio Barrios in that team.
Yeah. I want Brazilian a pair of glasses like a.
Yeah. Yeah, that Tyson fight was terrible. It was exactly as I expected. We did a watch along for it last night on Wrestling Uncensored, and yeah,
poor you.
I mean, yeah, it was.
Poor you, man, because I bailed out. Like I was so tired. First of all, like it started like they were saying it would start around 11. Man, it started almost at midnight or maybe past. Way too late. And yeah, man, it was terrible, man. Terrible fight. At midpoint of the 6th round, I bailed out. I said, this is going to decision and not a good decision.
Yeah. It was obvious. I mean, I knew what was going to happen before the fight took place. Tyson had a decent first minute, and then he just didn't have anything left. And that was it. He was too old and too slow, and Jake Paul was too ineffective to put him away. It was exactly the fight I told you it was going to be on Thursday night, and it played out exactly as I expected it to play out. It was a disappointing matchup, and everybody's mad. AJ thinks it was a fix because he can't fathom anything. Like, he just predicts Tyson to win by knockout, and he just couldn't believe what happened in front of him, so much so that he's got to claim it's fixed. AJ is one of those guys who, when he wins, he claims that he's the best and it's amazing and no one can stop him. And when he loses, he claims it's fixed. By the way, AJ, a big Trump supporter. I mean, I don't know if those two things go hand in hand, but it's a similar situation going on with both guys. Just saying. It's a pro wrestling way to do things. You know what I mean? It's from the Vince McMahon playbook. It's a heel wrestler tactic. When you win, you say you're the best, and when you lose, you say you got cheated. That's what heel wrestlers do. That's what Trump does. That's what AJ does. That's what all the great heels do. And it works. People love them for it. People love AJ. Right? AJ's got fans. Am I wrong?
Maybe.
All right, I guess we got to stop the steal, Fred. I think you're right. We should keep trying. Man. Okay. We are...
And here we go.
Starting.
Here we go.
Here we go. First round.
All right.
Llontop and Ruffy. This is the first fight on the pay-per-view. Up next, we've got Viviane Araújo against Karine Silva, followed by a middleweight bout between Bo Nickal and Paul Craig, which should be fun. Co-main event is Charles Oliveira and Michael Chandler. And then we'll have the main event of Jon Jones, Stipe Miocic. I see a question in the chat wondering when the main event will be. I'd say probably around 11:30-ish. About an hour and a half from now.
If we're lucky.
If we're lucky. I'm feeling lucky, Fred. Feeling lucky. Eric Anders not lucky. He had to pull out of that fight against Chris Weidman today. That sucks. Some sort of illness. Unspecified medical issue, they're saying. I don't know what that means, but...
Was this his first time cutting to 185, or?
No, I don't think so.
Because he was a 205er before. I don't know.
Mm. Anders. He had fought at middleweight before.
Okay.
I feel like most of his fights were at middleweight.
Oh, for real? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, his past several fights have been at middleweight. His last fight was at middleweight against Jamie Pickett. Yeah, it's not an issue of not being able to drop from 205 to 185. He's done it. He fought Marc-Andre Barriault at middleweight. He's a middleweight. He just, I don't know. I don't know what happened. Could be a number of things. Whoa, Ruffy. You see that punch he threw there? That was a big looping right hand that just flew over the top of Llontop.
I mean,
Who's
Ruffy
Santos?
looks.
I'm confused. There's a guy, Ruffy, I think, has the word Santos on his shorts.
Maybe his full name is Ruffy Santos. I don't know.
Mauricio Ruffy. Maybe Ruffy is a nickname? And his real last name is Santos? Like, I don't understand. Because
Ruffy Santos sounds cool. So
Ruffy Santos.
I don't know. He doesn't have
Ruffy.
he doesn't have a Wikipedia page, so I gotta go with whatever I find on SureDog or whatever.
I'm looking at his Tapology, and it says Mauricio Ruffy. But for some reason on his shorts, it says Santos.
It's probably a nickname, I would say.
Whoa! Llontop with a big right hand. Man, for as big of a favorite Ruffy is, I don't know. Hasn't done much so far in the first round. It's a minus 1,000 favorite. What was the over-under? 1.5 rounds?
Yeah.
What was it?
1.5. It was minus 150 for under 1.5 rounds.
Okay, so Ruffy's supposed to put this guy away fast, but so far he's eaten some solid shots from Llontop here. Good leg kicks. A few right hands. Oh, that was a nice counter hook from Ruffy. Are you watching these fights or are you watching college football? I feel like you're not even watching the fights.
No, I'm watching, man. I'm watching. I'm watching. Okay. I don't want to be a dick because I think I'm like 4 or 5 seconds before you. So.
Oh, yeah?
I'm at 1 minute, 59, 58, 57.
I got 56, 55, 54.
Okay, so 53. I got like three seconds on you.
Okay.
But no, I'm watching, man. And I'm watching college football, man. I got a couple of screens going, man.
Who's winning?
Georgia, Tennessee, 17-17. It's a very good game. Number 1 Oregon might lose, man. Come on.
Wow. Oh, that was a nice right hand from Ruffy. It wobbled Llontop. Oh, my God. He threw like a spinning kick that totally missed and almost got knocked out with a counter right hand. What the hell was that? Like,
after when he got up. Oh.
Man, that was a cool elbow. But he landed like a good punch and then tried to follow it up with this terrible-looking kick. What happened? Stick with the punches, Ruffy. His punches look better than his kicks. His kicks are not landing.
He tried to go the Michael Pereira route of sometimes going super flashy, and it doesn't always work.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be cool if it landed, but it just didn't come close. See, all his guys have Santos on the back, but everybody's calling this guy Mauricio Ruffy, so I'm confused about the Santos. You know what I mean? Like, his whole crew has the name Santos on their back, and his shorts say Santos, but his name is Mauricio Ruffy. I'm not seeing his name as Santos anywhere. Mauricio Ruffy.
It's probably a nickname.
Yeah, Ruffy's got to be a nickname. It's got to be Mauricio Santos.
Yeah.
But it's so kind of... But then why doesn't it just say Ruffy on his short? Because, like, everything, his UFC profile, there's no mention of the name Santos anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, his UFC fight profile, it says Mauricio Ruffy. Everywhere, Mauricio Ruffy.
But, you know, like, Brazilian soccer players often Like, okay, so I just Googled for fun. Pele. What's Pele's name, you think? Everybody knows him as Pele.
And here we go.
Pele? His
Yeah.
name is Mauricio Ruffy.
No, it's Edson Arantes do Nascimento. So Ruffy's probably just a nickname. Like Brazilians often they have nicknames, man.
Okay, but
We'll
what
see.
did Pele have on his jersey?
Pele.
Exactly. He didn't have Nascimento.
Oh.
Like Mauricio Ruffy
Yeah.
should have Ruffy on his shorts. What's this Santos bullshit? You know what I'm saying? You're proving my
wait.
point. Why does it say
Wait.
Santos? It's just confusing. Say Ruffy.
With all this Ruffy talk, yeah, he's not gonna finish it in 1.5 rounds. It seems.
Well, he's still got another, minute and a half, Fred. You never know. He's landed some good shots. I think he came back and won that first round.
Yeah, he probably won the round, but Llontop is he's a gamer still. Like at the beginning when I saw this fight starting, I'm going, oh, Llontop, he looks a little, sorry to say, a little fat for the division, but he's been fighting well, man. He's been a gamer. He's been exchanging. He's been a couple of leg kicks here and there.
He's got a face tattoo. He's got that haircut. This guy looks like a gang member, Llontop. He looks dangerous.
Well, you gotta go there, man.
I mean, he does.
Oh,
he just got knocked out, though. Big
1.5 rounds.
From
Come
Santos.
on, Ruffy.
It's Santos. Call him by his name. Santos Ruffy. Oh, big hammer fists. Can he finish it in 1.5 rounds? He's got 34 seconds to do it. I think he's going to run out of time, though, because Llontop got back to his feet. He was getting his ass kicked. Lontop's got a huge welt under his left eye, big time swelling. He got beat up there. Ruffy looked like he was going to finish him, dropped him with an uppercut, landed big hammer fists on the ground, but Llontop able to scramble back to his feet. But you can tell he can't really see out of that left eye anymore. Look at that.
Yeah, that eye is
yikes,
puffy.
But he's got 10 seconds to make it over 1.5 rounds, so
you won't make it.
He might. Oh, spin kick. Oh, big right hand from the Ruffy. He made it over. The over hit, Fred. 1.5. We are at the halfway point of this fight. It's looking bad for Llontop, though. It looks like he could get finished any second here.
Why is this a catch weight? I just noticed it says catch weight.
I don't know.
Is Llontop like a last-minute replacement, maybe?
165. That's a weird one. Llontop. I don't know. I like fights at 165, though. Oh, big right hand staggers Llontop. Man, that was a hell of a right hand. Man, Lontop's eating some big shots and getting very hurt in this fight. Ruffy's got some serious power. What?
He's still moving forward, like maybe a little less, but I mean.
Yeah, but you can see he's taking big damage, man.
Yeah. It's another round for Ruffy for sure. Look at Ruffy. He has no damage, pretty much.
Yeah, no, he's looking fine. And Lontop's nose is like squished in. Do you see his nose, man? It's like bent inwards and bleeding on the side. I think his nose is broken. His orbital might be broken. Like, look at his eye, man. His left cheek is like black and blue. He's looking very rough. The doctors are going to check on him if he makes it out of this round, and I'm not sure they let him fight the third. His face is a mess. But there he is, looking for a single leg takedown. Didn't work, but he's still fighting Llontop. Very tough. Ruffy's got to be wondering, like, what do I got to hit this guy with? It's like a zombie. He's not going away. Fred, imagine doing this to a man's face and him not falling down. Him not, being done. Imagine this guy is coming forward after you. I've never been involved in something like that, where you just lump a guy's face up. Like, you change the way he looks, and then he's still moving forward trying to fight you. It's crazy.
That's the point where I'm pulling guard. Like, all right.
Yes. Let's just do jiu-jitsu for the rest of the fight. I don't want to punch you anymore. It's crazy. It's not working. Because his left eye is bad. You think the doctors check on him here? State of New York,
should.
man, they stop fights
they should.
quick.
Like, honestly, they should
I'm not sure
be
he
checking
can see
his
out of that eye. His nose might be broken, too. Oof. It's just leaking. Oh, big cut on the eyebrow, too. He is cut and bruised all over his face. Llontop. Llontop on the bottom here. Ooh, they didn't even check on him. No doctor check. Interesting. It's usually the ref that would make the call the doctor in. I guess he said, nah. Guess not.
Who's the ref? Goddard, I think?
No.
Not sure.
No, it's some other guy. I don't know his name.
I don't know.
Who's that guy? I don't know him.
Not sure.
And
Man,
here we go.
did you watch the prelims earlier? Like, you saw the Tibura fight?
Yeah?
Oh, man, he fucking busted the guy open. Who was his opponent? I forget his name, man.
White shorts guy, Brazilian dude.
Yeah,
beat
exactly.
the shit out of him.
And I was like, come on, Herb, man, just finish it. And it seemed like Herb just wanted to let it go to decision.
Yeah. Doctor stopped that one.
Finished the round. Yeah, exactly.
Jim Miller with a really nice guillotine choke. First round. Stops Damon Jackson. Nice submission from Jim Miller. That was cool.
Yeah.
And that guillotine was so nasty. Gave me some ideas of the head placement.
I almost put Jim Miller on my parlay yesterday, but I was like, I'm not sure. I'm kind of old. Yeah, exactly. He's kind of old and all, but
plus 195 underdog going into that fight. Pulls off the first round submission. Jim Miller is a legend, man. Still getting it done. That was his 45th fight in the UFC. It's ridiculous. 45 fights in the UFC?
That's ridiculous.
Crazy, man.
Is that the record? Must be.
It must be. He said he wants to get to 50. And why not? Looks like
he just won, so.
Yeah, he just won. First round submission. How do you say
You said what, 45?
Yeah.
So 5 more fights. Like, let's say he goes 2-3. Still decent.
Why not? Let him do it. Llontop hanging in here in this fight, but he's losing. He lost the first 2 rounds by far. Although the judges are terrible. Just a warning, Fred. I don't know if you were watching the early prelims, but there was a fight between Oban Elliott from Wales and Basil Hafez. And one judge was scoring it 2-0 for Basil Hafez, and the other 2 had it 1-1. And it was 2-0 for Oban Elliott. The live odds had Oban Elliott at like -800 going into the 3rd round. So Vegas knew that Oban Elliott was up big, but the judges, for some reason, thought otherwise. Derek Cleary specifically had Basil Hafez up 2-0. Thankfully, Oban Elliott finished the job and knocked out Basil Hafez in the 3rd round, so we didn't have to see those scorecards. But people were already a little bit suspicious, worried, and wondering what the hell was going on. So don't trust the judges. Don't let it go to the judges. Derek Cleary is on the case, and he is fucking up already. The fact that he scored, okay, they all scored the 2nd round for Basil Hafez. I think they're all wrong, but whatever. But the 1st round, Not scoring that first round for Oban Elliott is crazy. So it's a crapshoot when you're going to go to the judges here in the state of New York tonight. So get ready. I hope we don't see a lot of decisions. We're going to see a decision in this fight. Llontop is looking good in this round. He's pushing Ruffy up against the fence. He's kind of clinching. He's controlling position. He's not taking damage.
Could he have stole another round?
No.
I'm not sure. No.
Which one? The second?
Yeah,
maybe?
no.
I don't think so. I think he's won this round, though. He just landed a combination. This has been the best round by far for Llontop. I think he probably is winning, although he just ate an elbow to the face. So, but he's pressing the action, landing punches. Ruffy looks like he got tired of punching him.
Yeah. Ruffy came in as the big favorite. Kind of a prospect, I guess. I mean, guy kind of looks good physically, and his striking is decent, but Llontop has been so tough and keeps moving forward. So, I don't know. Maybe we got to give a lot of props to Llontop for his performance here.
He's got a good chin. You know?
He's still dangerous. He's still throwing.
Yeah, but he's losing. I'd like to see more of Ruffy. You know? I'm not sure. This is a catch weight fight too, 165. Like, where does he fight normally? Is he a 55 or a 170?
I guess 55, but man, he looks big still for 55. If he makes 55, he's a big 55.
That's it. I'm not really sure why he's fighting at 165 here, so I'm not sure.
Come on, somebody do a Wikipedia page for him, man. We need the info. Easy.
Yeah. Ruffy Santos won by decision. We're going to get the official decision. But this was not that great. And there's Ruffy talking to Donald Trump. Look at these people it's like all the Republicans are there. They got Trump, they got Tulsi Gabbard, they got RFK. We got a whole crew there watching the fights.
I mean, RFK and Tulsi used to be Democrats, man. Come on, man. Stop labeling people, man. They're humans, man.
Aren't they all part of
patriots.
The Trump administration? Patriots? Aren't they all part of the Trump team? Aren't they? That's why they're there, no? Because they're with them. They're with the guy. He's the Republican president, isn't he?
Yeah.
Right? What are we talking about here, dude? Come on. It's all fine. I'm just saying, like, whoa, there's a lot of them. They're all there, and the fighters are winning.
You're the one that was saying you were uncomfortable earlier, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's no, I didn't like the video package. You don't need to have political propaganda during a UFC fight. Let them be there, but like chill, you know? For sure, give them good seats and take care of them, but like let's relax on the commercials for them. Why are we doing that? It looks bad, man. You know? It turns people off. I'm still going to watch the fights, but I know people that don't want to watch the fights because of that type of stuff, you know? It's not good. I'm just trying to make everybody watch fights. I don't want to turn people off MMA. I want everybody to watch MMA. It's a good sport. John Jones fights in MMA for now. All right, Bruce Buffer doing the...
I mean, those stats were kind of closer than what I expected when they showed the stats.
Mauricio Ruffy, 29-28, unanimous decision. So there you go.
All right, Joe, get to the bottom of the Santos deal. You won't, but.
He won't. Joe Rogan doesn't ask the tough questions. We all know that. Joe Rogan doesn't give us the real answers.
Supposedly Kamala didn't want to talk weed with Joe, man, because of her past and all. Well, that because of her past is speculation, but Joe said that one of the reasons she didn't go do the interview was she didn't want to talk about weed.
Huh.
Because of the years she spent as a prosecutor, so like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm a pro weed and all that. Oh yeah, what about the people in jail you put?
Yeah, it's not a very consistent vibe, right? It's not good.
Yeah.
Shout out Leor watching in the chat. Hello, Leor. I saw Doug drop a chat, but I don't see it anymore. Did he take it off? I liked it. Seems to have disappeared in my chat, in my live chat. It's the government censoring Doug, I think. Right? I saw a thing that Doug posted in the chat, and then it was gone. He said something about RFK, and
I'm not
and it
in
was
the
gone.
chat.
Weird.
I got 2 football games and fights going on. Can't handle the chat also.
Oh, I got to see what's going on in the chat, brother. I got to monitor. So Mauricio Ruffy wins. He's doing the interview with Joe Rogan now, getting translated. He speaks Brazilian Portuguese, of course. Who? Benoit Saint Denis. He called out Benoit Saint Denis. Okay, so he is a lightweight. Mauricio Ruffy wanted to fight Benoit Saint Denis.
Why not?
Right. What?
Why not?
Yeah, right. Sure. I don't think it really matters.
Hey, more.
More guys. Who are these guys? Who were those evil men?
There was Vivek. No, Vivek's not evil. He's pretty much a libertarian. There was
they just all
Donald
look
Trump
evil.
Jr.
I don't know who they are. There's
was
Kamaru
that
Usman and Holly Holm. What do they do?
Why did they look evil? Why do you feel they looked evil, man?
The suits.
Why so much animosity?
The suits. The suits and the smiles. I didn't know who they were, Fred. I don't know who those guys were. They just looked evil to me. I don't know who any of those guys are. I don't. I'm not playing dumb. I actually didn't know. One of them was Trump's kid, I think, right?
Yeah.
The rest of them I didn't know.
Vivek, but I don't want to kill his last name. But I like
don't know
Vivek.
who that is. I've heard the name. I don't know much about
the
him.
Indian dude.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm thinking his name is Vivek, and it was the one guy who was Indian and the 3 white guys, I figure.
It's not the blonde guy.
It's not Donald Trump's son. It's, yeah. Yeah, I've heard about him. I don't know much about him. Some people seem to like him. Some people seem to hate him. I don't really give a shit, man. Like, I don't. Like, this is the thing. Like, I don't like this stuff. I don't want to know. I don't want to be involved. I don't want to see it. I like to avoid it. So when I watch UFC fights, I don't expect it to be there in my face. And I'm like, I have to know who these guys are? Who are these dudes? I will learn to love these people according to V-Techno in our Rumble chat. I don't think I will. I mean, I doubt it. I'm Canadian, man. These people have no impact on me. I don't give a shit about American politics. I live in Canada. I'm born in Canada. I don't plan on moving to America. I don't give a shit about like some like third-rate American politician who's like not even president. Like, I don't care about him. Well, why would I learn to love him? How about I learn to continue to not know who the fuck they are? How about that? Fucking, they're jabronis to me, man. Like, who have they ever beat? I know about John Jones and Stipe. I'm not trying to know about Vivek. Viva. Who cares, man? Is he Mexican?
Nope.
Probably not. Trump wouldn't have him around, brother. Let me tell you. He doesn't like that. I think.
Hey, the Latino vote was high for.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah.
Hey, careful.
Puerto
that's
Rican
actually
vote
true,
too, man. Puerto Rican vote was strong, brother. Jake Paul bringing all those Puerto Rican voters around. Jake Paul lives in Puerto Rico. And he beat Mike Tyson last night, and it was pretty easy. It's hilarious. I like how AJ just can't believe it. Like, what do you think was going to happen? What did people expect? All these people picking Mike Tyson to win, too. How? How did they like? I just don't get it. Like from day one, when that shit was announced, I was like, "Oh, that's a bad look for Tyson. He shouldn't do that. He's so old." And people, including you, Fred, sorry to, you know what I mean, but like, I just didn't
I
get it.
changed my
I didn't
pick at the end, man.
I
Come
know at
on, I
the end,
gave
but
you.
like, explain to me how you thought at one point
Yeah,
that Tyson would win. Like, I don't get it. He's
because
so
those short
old.
clips, like you said, those short clips, like they're deceiving. But when you looked at them, sometimes you're like, "Oh wow, look, he could still punch." But yeah, once I saw his legs, and that's what pretty much made it for me, man. Like I sent you that video where he couldn't take off his shirt, but me, his legs looked awful. And if he boxing is a lot in the legs, man. Yeah, you know, it's punching, but it's a lot of movement, and Tyson just couldn't move no more. And a couple of times in that fight yesterday, I saw it like he wanted to cut, and it just wasn't there. It just wouldn't like his knee just wouldn't move like he wanted. So that's what convinced me to go with Jake Paul. And as far as the fight yesterday, I think Jake Paul decided to go easy on Tyson because AJ's like, "Oh no, it's fixed, it's fixed." Jake Paul hurt Tyson a couple of times, and if he wanted, he could have hurt him more, man. A couple of times, like Tyson got hurt in that fight. So look, it should never have happened. I told you guys earlier, I think the guy that comes out the worst looking is Jake Paul, and it's not by his fault because like he didn't want to finish Tyson, but people feel so like as if they've been cheated. People feel they've been cheated because like they sold this fight as this big fight and it did not deliver. And Jake Paul would not, if he would have finished Tyson, I think at least there the people would have had like something satisfying to their bloodthirst. But
Yeah.
him not going very hard and Tyson not being able made the people mad. And now people are like mad at Jake Paul saying like, "What are you doing fighting an old man?" Francis Ngannou even said he was going to slap Jake Paul if he sees him. So, like, yeah, a lot of people are mad at Jake Paul for fighting a 58-year-old Mike Tyson, man. They're like, it's elder abuse, and it almost
These are,
is, man.
yeah, but these are the same people who said Mike was gonna whoop his ass before the fight happened. The same
I don't
people
know.
that are mad are
I
the same
disagree.
people that said
I
Mike was gonna
disagree.
win.
I disagree. A lot of people thought he was going to lose. Like, a lot of people were like, I hope he wins, but he's probably going to lose.
Yeah.
I think that was the consensus.
So what did they expect? And it's like I was telling you before, man. Like, I don't blame Jake Paul for going after it. It's Mike Tyson. He's a big name. He's dangerous as far as Jake Paul knows. You know, he's dangerous enough. Jake Paul's not a great boxer. He's not a heavyweight. This was a challenge of sorts for him. He knew that it was going to draw lots of money. He's trying to make fights that draw money. That's what he does. He doesn't do fights that challenge him. He does fights that make money. And, you know,
60
Mike
million people watched it.
That's it, man. It made money. It did what it was supposed to do. So I don't blame Jake Paul. I blame Mike Tyson's people for letting him think he had a shot. I blame his coaches, his management, everybody around him that enabled him to take that fight. They have been living and feeding off Mike Tyson for his whole life, and they kept doing it. They're just bloodsuckers leeching off Mike Tyson for one more payday. Because when Mike gets paid, everybody around him gets paid.
I mean, he got 20 million, man. I'm happy for Mike. He's going to be okay.
Sure. But
it
was the fight necessary? Was the damage necessary? Was any of that necessary? I don't think so.
It should look, I go back to what I say. I think most people are disappointed because the spectacle didn't deliver. And look, it could have been predictable, but look, Tyson wanted to fight, man. He made money. He's okay, man. It's not as if like Tyson. I'm sorry, like it's not like he was the smartest guy before that, and I don't think this affected. Like, I don't think it worsened his brain or anything. I just think like good for Tyson to make 20 million. He lost. He looked awful. I don't think it hurts his legacy, but some people will say that. But I
Yeah.
don't know.
I don't think it hurts his legacy. I just think that it was an unnecessary fight. Like, whatever. If he wants to take the fight, take the fight. I think you're right, though. Jake Paul even said in the press conference afterwards, like, I didn't want to hurt him. I held up. I could have done damage. I could have put him away, but I didn't want to.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
If anything was fixed, it was that. It was that Jake Paul felt pity for the man and decided not to knock him out.
And I'm telling you, if he would have knocked him out, he would have got less hate. Or at least he could have continued being the bad guy and all, like played the heel. But like right now, he has to like say, I didn't want to hurt him. And yeah, I'm almost sorry I fought him. That's almost like what he needs to say.
Yeah,
now.
he should be a little sorry he fought him. I think he didn't realize how bad Mike was physically. You know? I don't think he realized that he was so fucked up. I don't think anybody realized how fucked up he was. Like, I thought Mike would have a little bit more than, 30 seconds? You know what I mean? He had nothing.
I'm going back to his legs, man. I'd be interested to know, like, as he had knee issues in recent years and all that, because honestly, he was not moving well. I'm not even sure if it was a cardio issue. I think it more like he wasn't moving well. Like his mobility was awful.
Having a bit of a technical issue here, Fred.
What's happening?
Nothing. No, nothing's working here. We're having some problems with the software, I think. We may have to drop off and disappear and come back. I don't know.
Are we online?
Yeah, we are. No, we're still streaming. I'm just, nothing is responding. Things are frozen. Shit. We're in a bit of trouble.
Shit.
Yeah, we're a bit screwed.
So basically, we're staying on this screen for the whole night?
No, we're not going to do that. We're going to figure something out. I don't know. I'm not sure what. Our team is going to figure it out and work on it for us because this is a problem.
Are they working live or you have to wake them up?
No, they're live. It's live right now. We need to figure something out, right? It is frozen. Huh. Well, we're still streaming, but we definitely have got some technical issues. We may have to disappear and come back.
So who's the favorite in this fight there? Who's again, it's a mismatch.
Yeah. Karine Silva is the favorite. Araújo plus 240. We may have to disappear for a second and come right back. I think the stream will remain. All right? Let's do that now. Let's do that now while we can. We'll be right back. We'll be right back. I think. Bear with us. Stay with us on the Ringside Report Network. I think we're going to take a short pause. Araújo Silva starting their fight right now. Just trying to get the okay here. Or not. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Okay. I don't know. I think we'll be back in a second. Or not? What's happening? I'm not getting any info, and nothing is going on. This is weird. Araújo and Silva in the first round right now. Not a ton of action. Feeling each other out in the first minute. Michael Chandler making that walk. Oh, he's praying to the gods above. He's closing his eyes as he takes his jacket off. He's summoning the powers. He's thinking of Conor McGregor, wishing it was him, wishing he was making the big money, wishing he was main eventing. But instead, he has to fight Chucky Olives, who's not the same payday and 10 times the challenge. I think Chandler is fucked here. He lost the last time they fought. He hasn't fought in quite some time. He's older. Oliveira's been active and has been very good. The only guys that's beaten him is Tsarukian and Makhachev, and those guys are the top of the top. I think Oliveira gets this one done. But it's always harder to win the rematch. Chandler, he's well rested. He's primed. He's ready to go. He's hungry. He's got to be angry. He needs the money. He needs the win. A win here gets a title shot. Word is the winner of this fight gets the winner of Tsarukian and Makhachev. So Chandler and Oliveira both have a title shot on the line. Like, there's a lot on the line in this fight. But if you're Michael Chandler, now bear with me here, Fred, okay? If you're Michael Chandler and you win this fight, you fight Islam Makhachev for the belt. But if you lose this fight, you get Conor.
That's what I was going to say, because if he wins, Conor probably doesn't want to fight him no more. I don't even, he probably gets Islam, but I'm not even thinking about that part. I'm just thinking if he beats Chucky Olives, he's too dangerous for Conor.
He's too dangerous for Conor, and also he's, otherwise occupied. So if Conor wants to come back and fight in 2025, Chandler might not be available.
But with that said, if you're Chandler and you win, and then Conor says he wants to come back and you don't have a fight for the moment, if I'm Chandler, I'm saying, hey, I want to fight Conor before the title.
Okay, but what if you have the option of fighting Islam for the belt or fighting Conor? Say Islam is ready in December of 2025, and so is Conor. You take Conor, right?
Yeah, of course. That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
You have to go for Conor. But, it's crazy that you could win a number one contenders fight and then decide not to fight the champion and fight a guy who hasn't won a fight in 5 years. But, it's the logical choice because that's where the money is. I mean, if Jake Paul fought in the UFC, more people would want to fight Jake Paul than the champion because that's how fighting works, It's about the eyeballs. It's about the money. It's not about who's the best. If it was about who's the best, people wouldn't call out Conor McGregor because he's not the best. He hasn't been for quite some time. But it's not about who's the best. It's about who can make you the most money. And obviously, for Michael Chandler, he's been waiting and waiting and waiting to get that payday. And it never came around. And now he's got to fight Charles Oliveira, Chucky Olives, former champion, the guy that beat him last time they were in the octagon together.
Chucky from the Bronx.
Chucky from the Bronx, baby. Don't be fooled by the rocks that he's got. He's still Chucky from the Bronx. TKO win over Michael Chandler back in May of 2021. And Michael Chandler then fought Justin Gaethje, lost a decision to him, fought Tony Ferguson, knocked him out. Then lost a submission submission rear naked choke fight there to Dustin Poirier back in November of 2022. That is 2 years ago. That is the last time Michael Chandler fought. He's coming off 3 of 4 fights. His last 4 fights, he's lost 3 of 4. He hasn't fought in 2 years. He's coming off a loss. He fought a guy. He's fighting a guy who beat him 3 years ago, and he's 38 years old. All these things lead me to believe Charles Oliveira is going to win. He's minus 250, the favorite going right now, which, yeah, right? You're going with Chandler too?
No. I got Chucky.
No, Chucky Olives, I mean, sorry. Obviously, we're all going with the Olive Man. He's going to make an Olive Garden out of Michael Chandler. Heads from Bacon says Chucky Olive sounds like a crappy Italian restaurant chain. I mean, yeah, I think it would be great. Run by Charles Oliveira. You have his face. It's Chucky Olives. Come to eat pasta with me. Chucky Olives. It's horse meat.
Here we have like Pizza Salvatore, which is just like a chain. In Brazil, they'll have Chucky Olives, Italian restaurant made by a Brazilian. It sounds great, man.
I would go.
Definitely.
Everybody would go. All right. It's co-main event time. Man, John Jones and Stipe up next. Could be the last time we see John Jones in the octagon. You think it's over?
Nope.
You don't think it's the last one?
No. He's going to fight again, man.
Against Aspinall?
Get somebody else. If anything, maybe he takes a year off or whatever, but he's not retiring. I don't believe that.
I think it's either Pereira or nothing right now. Aspinall's going to have to win some significant fights to make it worth the while for John Jones to come back and fight him. And I don't think that there's guys out there that are worth enough to raise Aspinall's stock to the point where he'd be worth fighting for John Jones.
But
there's no big wins he can rack up in the heavyweight division other than Cyril Gann, who Jones already destroyed.
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but like how many pay-per-views did John Jones and Cyril Gann sold? Because, I mean, if he fights Aspinall, I would expect the numbers to be similar. It's not as if Cyril Gann was a huge draw himself. But
it wasn't about Cyril Gann. It was about seeing John Jones at heavyweight. He hadn't fought in 3 years. You know what I mean? I feel like it was more about seeing John Jones, the challenge of, which will be the same with Aspinall. But will it be the same level of interest?
Probably not, but like I said Thursday, I feel John Jones still has some fights in him, and I feel also like I've said numerous times, John Jones over the years with all his issues has left some money on the table, and he still has potential to make good money, and I'm sure the guy wants to add another 10 million to his bank account, or who knows how much, by doing like 2-3 fights extra. So I don't think he's retiring. I really don't.
And here we go.
I think it's a negotiation with the UFC when he talks about retirement or super fights, special fights, or whatever. It's his way of saying, you guys don't control my destiny. But in the end, he's gonna fight again.
But if he's not willing to let the UFC control his destiny, the UFC might not offer him the fight that he agrees to, and they may just, you know what I mean? Like, it may not be a retirement. It may be like a negotiation thing where him and the UFC can't come to terms on the right fight, and eventually
he's the next GSP.
Yeah, like GSP.
Maybe,
GSP
but
got
I think
so great that the UFC couldn't do business with him anymore.
I think they'll figure a way, and John Jones wants to fight also. They'll figure a way.
GSP
That's what
beat Michael Bisping, was a middleweight champion, vacated the belt, then said, I'll fight Khabib. They said no, so he retired. John Jones is the heavyweight champion. He's going to beat Stipe. He's going to vacate the belt. He's going to say, I'll fight Pereira. They'll say no, then he's going to retire. That's what I predict is going to happen. That's how the UFC does. Oh, man, both guys landed jabs early. And Oliveira landed a good kick to Chandler. His body's already red. Oh, Oliveira looking for the takedown.
Yeah.
That was unexpected.
Oh,
nice trip takedown from Oliveira.
Oh, my God.
He's got his leg in like a...
Yeah.
Oh, he had a knee bar. And now he's got like... I mean, he kind of has his leg. It's not quite an Achilles lock, but he's sitting on Michael Chandler right now, is Charles Oliveira, and he's maybe working for the armbar. He's got Chandler in a weird position. That was a cool takedown. And now Oliveira on top. If he could just free his arm. See, Chandler's got two hands on Oliveira's left arm, and Oliveira's other arm is kind of wrapped up in Chandler's legs. But if he could free that arm, he could just, there you go, he's freed the arm, and now he can start throwing punches. Chandler kind of holding him, but Oliveira is sitting on Chandler and has him kind of halfway mounted. This is a weird position.
Yeah.
What would you call this in jiu-jitsu? Like, this isn't really jiu-jitsu.
No. I think he needs to free his right leg. Like the fact that Chandler is clamping on his leg. And also that Oliveira is all on one side. He's not like centered on him. So
yeah,
he needs to free his leg to be able to center himself a little more.
Chandler would be able to sweep him on the other side because he's all on that one side, but because the fence is there, he can't quite sweep him. And now Oliveira, look, he's squaring up, and he's getting into a more traditional kind of half guard position on top of Chandler. And Chandler now flattened out on his back in like a bottom half guard. It's gone away from that weird kind of semi-mount position into a top half position for Oliveira. Oliveira not really able to land good strikes from this position. It's kind of an awkward spot trying to free his leg and pass. Ooh, Chandler holding on. Yeah, right? He's all on one side. It's weird. It's not like a half guard. Oh, could he get the head and arm? No. It looked like Oliveira was maybe looking for the head and arm choke. This is a good position, though, for Charles Oliveira. Spent the majority of the round on top, controlling Michael Chandler. Looks to be secure in this round. Chandler just kind of throwing these punches, like they're to the back of the head of Oliveira. Like Chandler's on the bottom and he's throwing punches, and they're hitting only back of the head of Oliveira. Like, yeah, ref, fucking get in there. The referee just warned him, but like, what are you doing? He's throwing 100 of those. Oliveira on top as this round comes to a close. This will be a Charles Oliveira round for sure.
Should the ref have separated them at some point, or just let it go like he did?
No, I want to see them work. Let them work. The round was going to go how the round went. It was an awkward position. Let them work out of it. I'm happy with that round. Oliveira didn't do a ton of damage from the top, but he did get on top. Crazy that Oliveira went for the takedown, and he got it. It was a nice takedown, but they landed in this weird spot where Oliveira kind of had to work out of it to regain his footing and get a secure top position. Round one for Chucky Olives for sure. Headstrom Bacon agreeing with me. He says, nailed it, Dave. That's exactly what Jones will do. Vacate, demand Pereira, then retire. I hope that's not the case. You know, I hope he vacates, demands Pereira, gets Pereira, fights Pereira. You know, it'll be sick. Patrick C. Hamilton checking in. He says he went with Chandler. All right, Patrick, good luck to you. I did put what was it? Bo Nickal, Charles Oliveira, John Jones parlay. Just all the favorites. That was my parlay. Fred, you have what? Charles and Jones, right, on your parlay?
Yeah.
So our parlay have Oliveira. I think even AJ had Oliveira on his parlay. But AJ's parlay is dead because he had Karine Silva, who lost to Viviane Araújo earlier tonight. Feels like hours ago.
Did he have Silva, though? Because he had the favorite, so he had...
Araújo was the dog.
Oh, she was a dog, okay.
Yeah, I have his parlay here with me. He had Silva. Oh! Charles drops Chandler with a nice combination. Chandler kind of circling away, trying to run away.
Here's the
tries
thing.
to clear the cobwebs.
Here's the thing. I don't think Chandler can go 5 rounds.
No.
I think Chandler will slow down as the rounds go. So
Chandler might get knocked out here. Oliveira is landing some good punches, and Oliveira landed a punch, and Chandler started to run away. Literally ran. Wasn't circling, just ran away from him. When a guy starts to run, Oliveira landed some good punches. Oh, nice right hand from Oliveira. Chandler does not
like
really
how
have
he's
an
focused
answer.
also.
Michael
Oliveira seems...
Oh, man.
Oliveira seems very focused. Yeah.
Yes, he does. Oliveira's got this. I'm pretty convinced. Chandler's in trouble. Chandler needs to kind of land a big one. But he's eating one. Oh, nice knee from Oliveira. Knee to the chin. Chandler's staying in it, but Chandler's looking like a really good comeback fight for Conor McGregor right now, isn't he?
Yeah. I think that's what he's auditioning for.
It's like, oh, yeah, I think Conor
like he just threw a big haymaker. He threw a big haymaker that had no chance, you know?
Oh, big takedown from Oliveira, and he lands in mount. And Chandler kind of smiles like, yeah, you fucking got me. Like, do you see the look when he got taken down? He's like, God damn, this guy has got me. Oliveira in full mount. Landing elbows. Come on, Oliveira. Posture up. Let's see it. I want to see him posture up, land big strikes, force Chandler to turn, sink in the rear naked choke, send us into John Jones and Stipe. Let's go, guys. I'm ready. Charles Oliveira in complete control of Michael Chandler right now, fully mounted on top of him. Chandler just trying to hold on and limit the damage. Big elbow from Oliveira on top. Another one. Another one. Oliveira landing some solid strikes from the full mount. Chandler really not having any kind of answer other than to try and tie him up. But tying him up is only going to force him to, untie himself and throw elbows. What you got to do is get out of the mount. You know what I mean? Like, just tying him up when you're in full mount, you got to shrimp, you got to move away, you got to try and
also those
tuck
punches
an arm and
from
roll.
Those punches from his back are like nothing.
Pointless. It's pointless.
Yeah.
I hate when guys defend a full mount like this in MMA. It's like they completely forget jiu-jitsu and they're just like, get off me. Which I get. But wow. Chandler is opened up pretty bad. Big cut on his forehead, and Oliveira continues to pour down with elbows from top mount. Second round has been all Charles Oliveira so far. Just a dominant performance.
I mean, this is a 10-8 even.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a 10-8 because he's come close to finishing him. He is crushing him. Chandler now looking to escape the mount, fighting hard to bridge out, but Oliveira doing a very good job to maintain position, keep control. And he's going to stay on top as this round comes to a close. Round 2 in the books. Clearly a round for Charles Oliveira. I think you give it 10-8. 2 rounds to nothing for Charles Oliveira in this potentially 5-round fight. But I don't know. Chandler looked pretty close to getting finished in that one. He got dropped. He got rocked. He ran away from punches. He got kneed in the face. He got taken down. He got fully mounted. He got elbowed in the face. He got cut in the face. That was a rough round for Michael Chandler. That was all Charles Oliveira. Chucky from the Bronx. Chucky Olives. Trying to do what the guys from the Bronx couldn't do. It's come in first place, not second. First place, guys. First place. Second place is just the first loser. Yankees. First loser. Next year, do better. All right, here we go. Coming up to round 3, Chandler.
And here we go.
And Oliveira. Johnny North says Triple H hanging out with Trump. Where? Is Triple H there? The Game is there?
Oh,
I mean,
what about that, Dave?
Well,
You don't
yeah.
like that?
Of course I like that. I like to see pro wrestlers. Who doesn't like to see pro wrestlers? If the Game is there. Are you sure that's Triple H and not Kid Rock, you know? I don't know. Was it the Game? Is he there?
I mean, I don't think you could mistake Kid Rock in the Game.
Yeah, I doubt it. Oliveira looked for a takedown. That was defended nicely from Chandler. Oof, nice right hand there from Oliveira. Chandler throwing a couple leg kicks, though, early in this round. Oh, nice, very sharp boxing from Charles Oliveira. Landing some good combinations. Chandler trying to fire back, but missing. Chandler now with his back up against the fence. Oliveira doing a good job of cornering him with the footwork. Very nice boxing from Charles Oliveira in this fight so far. Oh, big uppercut from Oliveira. That stumbled Chandler. Oh, and a knee to the face. Oh, Chandler just blew out his nose.
That's not good.
That's not good.
That could make his eye puff.
That's it. When your nose is broken, it feels like you got to blow your nose because you can't breathe, and then your eyes start to swell, and things go even worse. Oliveira is pouring it on now. Knees, punches, elbows, and now he's attempting the takedown on Michael Chandler. I feel like the takedown is unnecessary, like maybe keep throwing punches. Oh, Chandler was holding the fence big time to defend that. That's crazy. And now Oliveira takes him down, takes his back, sinks in the hooks. Let's go, Chucky.
I think it's over.
Let's see the rear naked choke, baby. Oh, he's got the body triangle on him. It's not over, though. I mean, Chandler's defending the hands. He's defending the choke.
Yeah.
Like that's the problem with the rear naked choke in the back mount is that you know what to defend. And if you're just,
Yeah, but no, he's got
careful,
this. I think Chandler is tired.
comes that Robert Whittaker thing where you just go on the lip and rip his fucking face apart. Come on, Charles. I mean, he had like 3 minutes to work on the back of Michael Chandler. If he doesn't put him away.
He's holding his glove, I think.
Oh, yeah. Chandler holding the inside of the glove of Oliveira. He's doing all he can to survive and cheat his way to surviving. Oh, Oliveira. Oh,
wasn't there somebody the last fight? Oh, yeah. Poirier also thought that Chandler was cheap. Why was it? I forget. Something happened in their fight.
Maybe there was a headbutt.
I don't remember, but there was something.
But yeah. Oliveira still on the back of Michael Chandler, throwing punches, throwing elbows, trying to get under the chin. Oh, Nice punches to the body there.
Come on, Chucky.
Oh, Triple H apparently is at the fights. Oh, yeah, there's the game. Shaking hands with Donald Trump and Dana White. There's Triple H with Trump. Johnny North just sent me a video. Hey, how are you? Wow. Triple H, Dana White, Donald Trump. What a moment. Icons, Fred. Come on. I know you love it. The game. Oliveira not able to finish Chandler here. Oh, he's squeezing, but just not able to get the rear naked choke in. Still controlling the back, still with a good back mount on Chandler. Chandler not able to escape the position, but Oliveira not able to put him away. I'd like to see Oliveira throwing more strikes from this position. That might open up the chin, but nope. There we go. It's the end of the round. It's a 3-0 for Oliveira. Easily 3-0 for Oliveira. This was not close so far. But, you know, he's letting Chandler hang in there, right? You can't let him hang in there.
Yeah. I think if Conor McGregor's looking at this, he should come back now and fight Chandler.
Yeah. I think he should feel confident.
Although Conor doesn't have the grappling to do that to Chandler. You know, he's going to have to strike more, but
yeah,
Conor's the better striker, I feel.
Yeah, but I also think that the grappling is holding Charles back from finishing Chandler on the feet. Like every time he has Chandler almost dead on the feet, he decides to take him down and try to submit him, and then he just kind of doesn't for a few minutes. You know what I mean? Like he had Chandler pretty hurt there, and he decided to go for the takedown.
And here we go.
Round 4 of a possible 5, which I hate when they do, man. Don't give me 2 5-round fights on a pay-per-view. Just give me one. I don't need a co-main event to be 5 rounds.
This one especially did not deserve 5 rounds, man. There's no reason.
It's a 30-27 fight for Oliveira. He's won all 3 rounds. Why do we need a 4th? You know, unless Chandler comes back in the 4th or 5th, what were these extra rounds for? I get that it's like a championship fight, like a contenders fight. So maybe they want to, you know, simulate a championship. You know what I mean? Sometimes when they do one of these number 1 contenders fights, they like to make it 5 rounds so it's like a title fight. Oh, that was a nice flying knee from Oliveira. Oh, but Chandler fires back with a couple punches. But Oliveira doesn't seem to phase by them. I feel like they don't have much behind them because Oliveira just keeps marching forward.
Chandler keeps grimacing, it seems. I'm not sure. Maybe something is bothering him.
Leg. Look at his leg.
Yeah.
You see his thigh? It's bruised severely. Look at his leg. What's going on there? Big
come on,
Oliveira.
Another 3 minutes of that.
Yeah, I think so. Oliveira now on the back of Michael Chandler once again. Maybe he can put him away here. Chandler defending.
He never got like the right, like in the 3rd round, he never got the right angle to be able to finish that rear naked. I think it's probably going to be tough again for him to. Chandler seems to have some decent defense.
He's got to get away from that sitting position. He's got to get on top here like this and try to flatten him out, get him belly down. Yeah. Belly down into the death position. There you go. On the back now. Make him carry your weight. Now the rear naked choke might come. I feel like when you're sitting and you have the back mount, it's way easier for a guy to survive than when you're on top and he's turtled and you have back mount. You know what I mean? But again, they kind of roll. Like, he doesn't look to flatten him out. He looks to kind of roll and carry him on top and then try to get the choke. But the choke's just not coming from this angle. I mean, Charles would choke me in like 15 seconds. I'm not trying to critique his technique, but I'm just like, come on, guy. I want to see John Jones. Let's get this shit going. You've won, Charles. We know you've won. You're better than him. You're much better than him. You're beating him. You've won every round. Finish him. Finish him. There we go. Climbing on the back. Chandler turtled. Oliveira just one hook in. Controlling. He's doing a very good job of controlling Chandler. Chandler cannot escape. Charles Oliveira is like a wet blanket on Michael Chandler's back. Like, he's stuck. Chandler is totally stuck. And Chandler is a good wrestler, and Oliveira is just neutralizing any kind of defense that he's got. Michael Chandler getting totally out-grappled and out-wrestled by Charles Oliveira. Outstruck? Out-jiu-jitsu'd? Sure, but out-wrestled? I don't think people really expected that, right? It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
The takedowns have been all in Oliveira's favor.
Yeah, Charles has shown some nice takedowns tonight.
Oh, and he might be under the chin now.
Yeah, come on.
He's going for the squeeze. He's squeezing.
Come on.
He might have him. Chandler's trying to fight the hands. You got to hide the hand, Oliveira.
Lost it.
Oh, man. He lost it. Oh, dude. Finish the choke, man. Squeeze the shit out of this guy's face. Man, I like what Hamzat did to Whitaker, man. That shit was so mean. I love that shit so much. When you get there, do that to everybody. It's MMA, man. Be a dick. Don't you think that's the move, man? Fuck trying to get under the chin. Just fucking put your wrist on the guy's lip and let it fucking rip, dude. Just squeeze. God damn. Does this fight suck?
I mean, I'm a little disappointed that Oliveira is not more aggressive once he gets the back. I feel he's happy controlling, doing a little damage. Like, I don't know. It's those last two rounds. I wouldn't say the fight sucks, but I would say it could be more entertaining.
I mean, he jumps on his back and he rides for 3 minutes. That was round 3 and round 4. It's not great. It's not great. There's not a lot of damage. He hasn't really come that close to the rear naked choke. Like, he came a little bit close there in the third round. Like, he didn't come close to it. I'd like him to squeeze a little bit more. Just squeeze the face. See if the chin opens up. Just get mean. Throw more strikes. Get more aggressive from the back. Get more offensive from the backs. Don't try to hold position as much in the 5th round.
And here we go.
Let's see you get aggressive. Go for the finish. Round 5. Chandler and Oliveira. Oliveira's won all 4 rounds here. I don't think it's even a debate. Right? You think have you seen anybody score any rounds for Michael Chandler so far? Nope.
I doubt.
Chandler's losing big time. Ooh, Oliveira going for the takedown. Chandler defending, backing away. Chandler needs a finish. He's got to know he needs a finish. He's got to know he's down significant rounds in this fight. If he doesn't know he's down 4, he better know he's down at least 3. because he has not had a good round. Oh, that was a nice right hand from Chandler. Uh-oh, Oliveira's eye looked like it hurt. Oh, Chandler slips, and Oliveira goes for a takedown, but Chandler lands on top. Oliveira looking for the sweep, but Chandler landed big punches on Charles Oliveira. Oliveira might be in trouble. Oh, my God.
And a
Those
lot
are
of it
all
is
to the
behind
back
the
of the
head.
head. Those are
Yeah.
all back of the head. Oh, my God. A lot of punches to the back of the head, but Michael Chandler is on top of Charles Oliveira, and he is doing everything he possibly can to get a finish. I mean, there is a definite sense of urgency here from Michael Chandler. You got to appreciate the heart and the fight in this guy trying to go for the kill when he knows he needs it. Big elbows from the top from Michael Chandler. Wow, Oliveira is surviving, tying him up in the guard, trying to just tie up the hands, maybe get a sweep, maybe even get a triangle from the bottom. But Oliveira just kind of staying aware, staying awake, and now trying to tie up Michael Chandler and avoid further damage. But Michael Chandler is laying the ass whooping down here in the 5th round. This is crazy. Good on Michael Chandler for making this a fight, right? We were writing him off. We're like, what's the point of this? Why is this a 5-round fight? Well, this is why. There we go. Thank you. He's made it interesting. Landed some big punches, hurt Oliveira, and now Oliveira shooting up a triangle. Chandler's got to be careful. Oliveira's kind of got a triangle here. Chandler has got his posture, but if Oliveira can break the posture, Charles looking for the triangle choke. Maybe going for the armbar from the back seat. This is good for Charles Oliveira. Just staying offensive. Oh, no. Gets away from the triangle, pushes Chandler away, and gets back to his feet. They are on their feet with just under 2 minutes to work. Michael Chandler needs a finish. Oliveira bleeding from his nose. Oliveira is definitely having the worst round of the fight here for him as far as damage, as far as the score. Michael Chandler is looking great in this 5th round. Oliveira, though, gets a clinch of Chandler and takes him down and gets to the back again, to the safety of Michael Chandler's back. Huge. That saved the fight for Charles Oliveira. He almost got finished. Michael Chandler was on him. That was a big takedown. Big moment of the fight. Oliveira now on the back of Michael Chandler looking for that rear naked choke. He's going to look for the finish. He hasn't got it so far. I don't think he's going to get it. But he's holding him good. Chandler trying to get to his feet, but Oliveira staying on him, backpacked. Chandler now walking with Oliveira. Oh, and slams him down on his back. Chandler trying everything, but Oliveira took the slam, held on. Chandler now again to his feet. He's going to slam again. The crowd on their feet. Bam! Didn't do shit. Charles going, nah. Gives him a kiss as he holds his back, and this fight wraps up. Oliveira kissed him on the cheek as this fight ended. That was a cool finish. That was fun. Good 5th round. Decent fight. Oliveira wins for sure. For sure. 4 rounds to 1 for Chucky Olives. Michael Chandler.
Why is Chandler?
Yeah. I don't know why Chandler was sitting up on the cage like that. That was weird.
Who is that?
That's Reed Harris,
Yeah.
UFC executive and former owner of the WEC. That's who Charles Oliveira went to. Charles Oliveira went to shake hands with Mick Maynard, the matchmaker for the UFC, and Reed Harris, who's one of the executives and a former owner of the WEC. He didn't go shake hands with Trump or Kid Rock. Like, he walked by Trump and Dana and all those guys, and he was like, "Oh, Reed Harris, I kiss you on the cheek." Oliveira's different. He's not like the other ones who were like, even the Brazilian guy, Ruffy, was like going over to talk to Trump. Oliveira didn't. Different. Oliveira should definitely win this fight. Hugging Michael Chandler right now. These guys giving each other respect. You think Michael Chandler gets the mic? And if he does, you think if Chandler gets the mic, does he say Conor McGregor's name? He's got to, right?
He's got to, but I hope he doesn't get the mic because I just want to get to the next fight.
Yes. Is Conor talking? Oh, my God. Conor's not tweeting. How is Conor not tweeting about this fight? Michael Chandler's fighting and Conor's not saying anything? Isn't that weird? Fight night, usually Conor's all over. Wow. Michael Chandler threw a ton of illegal strikes in that fight. A ton. And he grabbed the fence a bunch, too, to defend takedowns. Michael Chandler fought dirty. That was a dirty fight for Michael Chandler. Like, all those back of the head shots in the 5th round. Come on, man. Wasn't even in the 5th round either. When he was on his back, he threw a bunch in the back of the head.
Yeah.
Charles Oliveira wins by unanimous decision. And the Dave and Fred parlays roll on, right? Look at our parlays, Fred. We're rolling on. We're doing well. We're winning. We just need John Jones to win, which seems like, that seems pretty good. Fred, for our parlay to win, all we need is John Jones to win a fight. That seems likely. Right?
That never happens.
Nah. When's the last time John Jones won a fight, right?
I'll be right
I
back.
think he's going to win. Oh, Fred will be right back. I got John Jones by submission. I think he puts Stipe away. I think he taps him. He's been training with Gordon Ryan. I think there's a reason why that's going on. I think his grappling is going to be unbelievable. He tapped Cyril Gane in his last fight. He has tapped a lot of people. He tapped Lyoto Machida. He tapped Vitor Belfort. I think he tapped Rampage, too. Wasn't that a rear naked choke on Rampage? Let's see if my memory is correct. This was a fight that happened so long ago. If I remember what he did. Yes, rear naked choke, September 2011. Come on, guys. I don't, this was on memory. That's pretty good. John Jones has a lot of submissions on his record. People see him and think knockouts, but a lot of his wins have come by submission. 7 of 27 by submission. 10 by knockout, 10 by decision. But Cyril Gane by submission. Like I said, Rampage, Lyoto, Vitor, Ryan Bader with a guillotine. And he's been training with Gordon Ryan, who's one of the best no-gi jiu-jitsu guys, probably the best no-gi jiu-jitsu guy of all time. And he's in his prime right now, so he's getting good training sessions in with Gordon Ryan. I think this is going to be a grappling-heavy contest for John Jones, and he's going to show some slick submission, and he's going to tap Stipe. I think that's the best way to beat Stipe, too. The most respectful way is to catch him in a submission and force the tap rather than to punch him and do damage to his face and brain. I think it's more honorable to tap the guy, right? Charles now talking to Donald Trump. After he talks to Joe Rogan, he went over to Trump and said something. I don't know. They are giving Michael Chandler the mic, though. Michael Chandler talking about the fight. Michael Chandler is very hyped. He's saying, hey, are you not entertained, Madison Square Garden? Oh.
Oh,
Oh, there you go.
what's he saying? He wants Conor?
Yes, he's calling out Conor McGregor. Yeah. Chandler is like really hyped and he's kind of cringy, man. Like he's annoying. He's annoying. He's like, yeah, this is what I do. I go out and I try to win. And it's like, yeah, all right, you did in the 5th round, but you lost every other round, dude. And then he mentioned a possible BMF title fight against Max Holloway next. Ooh, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon are there? I didn't know Stephanie was there. My God. Trips and Steph. Tom Aspinall's there. Shut up, Tom Aspinall. Fuck out of here, bro. Michael Chandler shaking hands with Donald Trump. Trump not impressed, calling him a loser. You lost. You're a loser.
You're fired.
You're fired. Get the fuck out of here. You're deported. I'm deporting you too. I think you're illegal. Oof. I was about to make a really bad joke. I'm not going to say what I'm going to say. Fred, you would like it. What I was thinking you would like, but I can't say it. It's too crazy. Anyways, John Jones warming up, getting ready for his fight here against Stipe Miocic. It's the main event of the evening. We've obviously got John Jones to beat Stipe. It's not really a question. So Chandler called out Holloway, but also Conor McGregor, saying, come and if you can get your shit together, come fight me and I'll beat you up.
What has Chandler done in the UFC? He's defeated Tony Ferguson and who else? Because, I mean, like, his UFC run has not been great, man. A lot of losses.
I don't think he's beat anybody but Tony Ferguson.
Is that his only UFC win?
He beat Dan Hooker and Tony Ferguson. He's 2-4 in the UFC.
It's not been great.
Not been great. 2-4. Wins over Dan Hooker and Tony Ferguson. Losses to Charles Oliveira twice now. Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje. I mean, he's losing to good fighters.
He lost 4 in a row.
No. He came into the UFC with a win over Dan Hooker. Then he lost to Charles Oliveira. Then he lost to Justin Gaethje. Then he beat Tony Ferguson. Then he lost to Dustin Poirier. And now again a loss to Charles Oliveira. So he's lost 2 in a row. He's lost 4 of his last 5. He's 2-6 overall in the UFC. Over a, 5-year span? 4-year span? 2-6. 2-4. 6 fights over 4 years. It's not a great UFC run, but he's making money. He's co-main eventing pay-per-views. He might fight Conor McGregor next.
I mean, he makes sense for Conor. Conor can't face Charles Oliveira. I'll tell you that much.
No. And I think Charles is going to fight the winner of Islam and Sarukian. So there's that. Charles will get a rematch. I mean, he's lost to both Sarukian and Islam, but I think, Charles is so good and he's beating everybody else at lightweight that, yeah, a rematch makes sense with one of those guys. As for Chandler, a fight against Max Holloway is not a terrible idea. Holloway has talked about going up to 55 and having interesting fights. I think Holloway, losing to Topuria at 145 maybe was the end of his run at featherweight, and he could go up to 55 and defend the BMF title against Michael Chandler. I think that's an interesting fight. I would watch that. That would be fun. People would like that, right?
Yes.
It's fine. What is this? Daniel Cormier is in the octagon, hyping up the crowd, talking about the main event. Can you believe Daniel Cormier has to be in there, hyping us up about John Jones? He must be dying inside doing this. He fucking hates John Jones so much. John Jones was talking about Daniel Cormier. He's like, I see him, like, I smile, I wave, and he just kind of looks away. I say, hi, Daniel. I try to be as nice as possible, but apparently he doesn't like that, so now I'm just going to keep my distance. Like, John Jones doesn't have beef with Daniel Cormier anymore because to him it's over, but in Daniel Cormier's mind, it's never over, and he hates
I don't
John
know.
Jones.
He probably doesn't love him, but I saw some interviews of Cormier this week where he was saying those moments were still his best moments of his career.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying. I think they have
there you
mutual
go.
respect, and I think they could come to a place where they're not enemies, and they're maybe even friends. Okay? I saw a thing. Daniel Cormier said John Jones was shooting a basketball, and Daniel Cormier was watching him shoot a basketball. It was on the pay-per-view tonight. And Cormier's like, oh, I could definitely beat him in a three-point competition. That was a terrible jump shot. And it kind of lit a light bulb in my head, and I said, you know, that would be a fun TV show. Daniel Cormier versus John Jones in a variety of sports. They do home run derby, they do golf, they do bowling, they do hockey, they do soccer, they do basketball, they do all sorts of sports against each other. It's a series, it's a TV show, it's like a one-season show. UFC produces it, puts it on Netflix, or they put it on Fight Pass or whatever. I would watch that. You see them trash talk. They play sports against each other. But really, they're kind of retired and they're older. And, you know their history and their rivalry, but it's kind of friendly. And maybe by the end of it, they're friends and they're cool, you know? How many sports, like, kind of guys that hated each other in their sports peaks and, eventually.
I think it happens.
Yeah, it happens, man. Guys
They
become
grow
friends.
respect.
There's a
Yeah,
respect.
they grow respect.
Yeah. I think Jones and Cormier could do a TV show together. I think it would be fun. Jones versus Cormier, do all the sports.
What would it be called? A Dare Pussy?
Hey, pussy, you still there?
Hey, Pussy, you still there?
Hey, pussy, you still there? Where are they now? Daniel Cormier and John Jones. That's not
See,
bad.
that one will always be there. That's the one that probably hurts Daniel. Like
Hey,
that.
pussy,
That's
you still
the.
there? I think that's the name of the show. Hey, pussy, you still there? Or do you think I would just let you kill me, John? You think I would just let you kill me, John? No, if you did that, I would literally kill you. You think I'm just going to let you kill me, John? Shit's fucking great. Well, no, obviously not. But, like, he thinks, he'd be able to do it. I don't think Jones thinks you're going to let him. But I think in his mind, even if you're fighting back, it's not going to work. Which, given the two fights you guys had, maybe. Also, John Jones, like, shoots guns and everything. He's got attack dogs. Like, he's kind of a killer. He's a killer human being in so many different ways. What a dangerous man. You know what's funny in the build-up to this fight is that John Jones was like, Stipe said that that his kids will never look at him like an asshole, and I took that as a slight, talking about me and my kids and my relationship with my kids. And I'm like, and Stipe's like, I said that, I wasn't thinking about you. I was just like, I'm a good dad and I'm going to make sure my kids never think I'm an asshole. I wasn't thinking about John Jones when I said that. John Jones, you took it that way. Like, to me, if my opponent says, oh, at least my kids will never think I'm an asshole, I'll be like, do you think that my kids think I'm an asshole? Because my kids like me, so that wouldn't hurt my feelings. I'd be like, no, my kids love me. I'm good. Whatever you say, like, whatever. But John Jones was like, fuck you, Stipe. I can't believe you said that. Which makes me think that John Jones' kids do think he's an asshole. I didn't see John Jones' kids, family, nothing fight week. He's got his boys, his team, his crew, his celebrity friends, no family. No dad, no wife, no kids. They're not there. They're not there. Where are they at, John? Where's the
You know,
wife
if you
and
come
kids,
out,
bro?
if you come out of the bank and some crazy person starts yelling at you, he robbed the bank. Are you gonna act like you robbed the bank? No, because you didn't rob the bank. So this same thing,
Exactly.
you know, like Stipe said something and the other guy acted because he felt attacked.
Yeah, but Stipe wasn't attacking him.
Uh, I
It's
mean,
like it's as if I say, "Ooh, my kids, they love me," and then John Jones goes, "Fuck you, man! You're saying my kids don't love me, you asshole." I never said that, dude. That's just how you take it because maybe they don't love you because they've seen you and how you act. I hope John Jones gets the shit kicked out of him. It would fuck up my parlay and I'd lose money, but man, would it be cool to see Stipe whoop this guy's ass at this point, right? Wouldn't it be cool to see John Jones fall right now? It would be cool. Like, he's not a great guy. He's the greatest of all time. But Stipe seems like a good man. He's one of the greatest of all time. He's a legend. If Stipe could cap off his career with a win over John Jones when no one has given him a shot in hell, that would be a great story. I think it would be a better story than John Jones just beating Stipe. Like, if John Jones beats Stipe, I don't think it really adds much to the story of John Jones. If Stipe beats John Jones, it's like a storybook ending to an amazing career. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we gain more as fans if Stipe wins. I bet on John Jones. But, you know what I mean? Don't you want, like, there's something about seeing the greatness fall. There's something about seeing the guy who could never lose. There's also something about seeing the underdog, the blue-collar fireman, somehow pull off the impossible. I'm kind of rooting for Stipe. I mean, John Jones hasn't been a great man, and
But he's the best fighter ever. And I'm here to watch fights. John Jones can.
I agree. Ooh, Yankees team president Randy Levine walked in with Donald Trump, apparently. He was with Dana.
Oh.
Which one is he?
Juan Soto should sign with the Dodgers.
No. If Randy Levine is walking out with Donald Trump, did he? I don't see him. Are we sure about that? I don't see him here. But apparently he was with him, and he's the president of the Yankees. So if this guy, is hanging out with Trump, Trump should make it illegal for...
Johnny, can you get Dave something to eat?
Oh, yeah, there is Randy Levine. I see him. He's the president of the Yankees team president. He's going to be investigated? Oh, no, this is a long time ago. Anyways, Randy Levine, Fred, okay? He was with Donald Trump, so maybe he's working on some sort of deal that will, force the other teams to back away from Juan Soto. It's only
Juan
fair.
Soto, he should sign with the Dodgers.
I disagree with very strongly.
What's an extra $300-400 million?
Look,
for the
all I know is that Joe Biden and Donald Trump were complete losers as president because the Yankees didn't win a World Series under their watch. Complete pathetic displays. Obama, he had a Yankees World Series victory, 2009, okay? At least Obama had one of those. There's Jones Brothers. Oh, there's the wife. Okay, sorry, I take it all back. They're there. The wife was there. The brothers were there. The father was there. Okay, cool. The kid, I didn't see the kids, but
she didn't flinch.
Holy shit! Is that Anthony Volpe? I think it's Yankee shortstop Anthony Volpe in the front row. No, he kissed her and she didn't flinch. Fred, it was all right. It was safe. Damn. I'm pretty sure I just saw Volpe, Fred. I'm losing my shit. I know John Jones is walking out and everything, but like, who cares when you see Anthony Volpe? Am I right? Volpe!
I couldn't tell you what position he plays. He's probably
shortstop.
a Yankee player.
He's our shortstop. I'm pretty sure that's Volpe. Is that fucking Volpe? Get out of the way, John Jones. I want to see Anthony Volpe. Greg Jackson talking to John Jones right now, giving him some instructions. I'm pretty sure that's Volpe. Oh, yeah. Clark Schmidt and Austin Wells are there, too. It is Volpe with Schmidt and Wells. Oh, Yankees in attendance, Fred. It is New York, baby. Oh, man. I just got very excited about the Yankees. Whew. Volpe, I see him. He's right there. It's Anthony Volpe. Over John Jones' shoulder. Hey, Volpe, watch John Jones. He can teach you how to hit. You fuck. Hey, John Jones will teach you how to hit. He knows how to hit motherfuckers. Pay attention, Volpe. That's what greatness looks like. That's what being the best in the world. That's what championships looks like. John Jones. Pay attention, Volpe. Why did they ditch the new gloves and go back to the old gloves? What happened?
To help John Jones do the eye pokes.
Do the eye pokes. I think you're right. Yeah. Very suspicious that the gloves that were supposed to get rid of the eye pokes were ditched before this event where the king of eye pokes was about to fight. Give him the old gloves so he could do the eye pokes. Wow. John Jones' wife and father and brothers were there. So that's good, man. I'm glad that the family is there. Because, you know, a little shaky. Haven't seen her. Usually the kids and the wife are there like the week of. You see them on the embedded, whatever. Haven't seen them around, so you start to wonder. Plus that comment about, right? Like, wasn't that weird when Stipe is like, my kids don't think I'm an asshole, and John Jones is like, I take offense to that. You know? There was that whole thing with the hotel in Vegas and the possible attack that he did to his wife in front of the kids and the kid calling the cops. Who knows what happened there?
All right, John Jones, take down Americana.
Yes.
Just like Vitor. Oh,
I agree.
twist that arm.
Except no armbar before that. Vitor, I mean, popped his arm. Vitor had him in that armbar. I was there. I was like
Vitor actually probably is the guy that was the closest to beat him.
Yeah.
Because that was very close, honestly.
He broke his arm in the fight. I mean, Jones came to the press conference with his arm in a sling. Vitor fucked his arm up.
Which fight did he fuck up his toe? That he finished and in between. Chael, okay.
Yeah. But he came to the press conference on crutches a couple of times. I mean, the Gustafsson fight, I'm pretty sure he came to the press conference on crutches. I remember a couple of those press conferences where John Jones came back after the fight looking banged up. He had his arm in a sling after the Vitor fight. Because Vitor, like, I don't know if he broke his arm, but he hurt his arm. And I don't think his arm was ever quite the same after that. Like, he had it was an injury that kind of lingered after with Vitor. And the toe, too. Here we go. It's John Jones. It's Stipe Miocic. It's the main event of UFC 309. It's for the heavyweight championship of the world. I've got John Jones winning this in the first or second round by submission. It's my prediction. I don't think this goes more than 2 rounds.
I mean,
but it'd be cool
all
to see
these
Stipe
fights
win.
were mismatches, but they all went fucking decision as of yet.
Yeah. Only one upset on this pay-per-view, too, right? Araújo. Everything else, all the heavy favorites have cashed in. Bo Nickal, Charles Oliveira. Can John Jones complete the sweep? Finish up our parlay. Send us home victorious. We're here on the Ringside Report Network. We're here every UFC pay-per-view. Usually AJ's with us, but he's slacking tonight. Every UFC pay-per-view, we do the watch-along. Every WWE premium live event, we're here for the post-show. Every AEW pay-per-view, we do a post show as well. And, of course, the regular shows every Thursday night, 8 p.m. for Ringside Report MMA, and every Friday night, 10 p.m. for Wrestling Uncensored right after SmackDown. It's the Ringside Report Network. We are your home for combat sports, pro wrestling, MMA, even celebrity boxing like we did last night with Mike the Tyson. My God, did he get his ass kicked last night. Wasn't great. Not a great performance from Mike Tyson. Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic is right now. We are live. It's about to go down. Herb Dean giving them their final instructions. Herb is the ref for this one. Jon Jones with his shorts all tucked in and hiked up. Tiny little shorts on Big Jones. Here we go. Doesn't get bigger than this. The greatest of all time, Jon Jones. Oof. Here we go.
And here we go.
Main event, Jon Jones and Stipe. Finally, man. Like, Jones has his toe taped up. I think that's the toe that he hurt in the Chael fight. I think that toe is still not right. He's got his big toe on his left foot taped up. Ooh, nice kick to the body from Jones. Stipe with a kick to the leg. Feeling each other out so far. Leg kick from Jones. Fired back from Stipe. Oof. Stipe throws a right hand. Just misses. Stipe chasing Jones a little bit. Not quite landing. Ooh. Stipe throwing big shots going forward. Jones just able to get out of the way. So far, Jones able to see the shots coming, but they are coming very close. Stipe's got some very sharp boxing.
Whoa.
Oh, that was a very nice trip takedown from Jon Jones. That was slick. And now laying in with some big elbows. When Jon Jones gets on top of you, he explodes. Oh, big elbow from Jon Jones. And now he's in the guard of Stipe on top, looking to pass, does, into half, and now throwing big elbows from on top of Stipe. That was a really nice trip takedown from Jon Jones. That was slick as hell.
3 minutes left also, so.
Mm-hmm. A lot of time to work on top of Stipe, sitting on that leg in half guard with Stipe flattened out. Jon Jones landed big strikes. He's cut Stipe open already with some of those elbows from the top. Stipe's forehead is bleeding. Stipe trying to re-guard. Trying to get Jon away from the half, maybe shoot him back into his full guard. But Jon aware of that, staying on top, staying heavy, throwing elbows at Stipe, pinning him down, and now passing into side control. Ooh, the Darce is there. Not quite, but Jon Jones staying on top of Stipe. Stipe got him back into the half guard. But it doesn't really matter. Half guard, side control. Jones is still landing punches and elbows from the top. Stipe flattened out. Not much he can do from there. He needs to get to a hip. Try to re-guard. Push away. Get back to his feet. Under Jon Jones is not where you want to be. Jon Jones with some fantastic top control, great ground and pound, known for it, has been effective for him his whole career. Great takedowns, great control, great strikes from the top, great elbows. And he's landing a bunch of them right now. Stipe feeling the Jon Jones elbows. Stipe, again, looking to push away, looking to sweep, do whatever he can. He managed to re-guard. He got Jones back into full guard, which will limit the damage for now. But Jones still throwing kind of short elbows to the body, short elbows to the face from the full guard. Now standing up, looking to posture, looking to pass. And does heavy hips, passes into side control. Not too much time to work, though. Just a good control position to end the round with more dominance, more control. Oh, shit. He was almost looking for the Kimura there, Fred.
I know.
If we call Americana, but it's a Kimura, like, I'm still taking credit. Oh, my God. Big elbows from the top. And Herb Dean stops the round because time has elapsed. But Stipe is cut open on his cheek. That was a solid round for Jon Jones. Not a great round for Stipe. Like, we called Jon Jones by submission. Any kind of submission he hits, I'm going to take credit for it. But we called Americana. If it's a goddamn Kimura instead, it's like, come on, good enough. Good enough.
I think we just saw that Stipe doesn't want this to be on the ground, especially with him on his back, because he wasn't really able to get close to stand back up. Jon Jones, once he got on top, pretty much controlled him for the 3 minutes.
Where does Stipe want this fight, though?
Standing up, striking, dirty boxing. I don't know.
I mean, he's got a 4.5-inch reach disadvantage standing up to Jon Jones.
Dirty boxing.
Dirty
close.
boxing. Close clinch game. But Jon Jones' clinch game is so good, man. Those short elbows. There's no good place to fight this guy, man. I mean, obviously, on your back, taking elbows is not a good place either.
And here we go.
Like, I don't see a path to victory for Stipe unless he lands a bomb that hurts him and he manages. You know, like, standing up is probably the best way to do it. He's got a puncher's chance against Jon Jones. I don't really see any other way. I don't see him taking him down. He's not going to out-wrestle Jones. I don't think technically he's going to outstrike him. If he lands a big, heavy shot, he could definitely hurt him, and he could put him out. But Jones is going to have to be aware of that.
The fingers.
Stipe coming
pokes.
forward, and Jones just putting his hand right in
That's
Stipe's
so dirty.
face.
Yeah, he does it on
Dean doesn't
purpose
say
also.
a thing either.
It's dirty, that.
Ooh, nice uppercut from Stipe. Like, that's what he needs. Yeah, it's dirty. He's got away with it his whole career, though. I'm not sure how.
Like, that one was blatant. Like, he should have been warned right away.
Yep. It wasn't an eye poke, though. It was just a hand in the face, right?
No, but still, yeah.
It's close. It's close to the eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy, though. When you fight Jon Jones, you kind of have to prepare for it. You know, it's what he does. Stipe landed some good punches. Stipe's landed, but they're just not. They don't seem to be moving Jones. Oof. Jones just missed there with the left hand. Oh, that was a nice kick to the body from Jon Jones. You could tell that hurt Stipe. Did you see that? You see Stipe's reaction to that? He did not react well to that body kick. That hurt. That might have cracked
in the
rib.
first round also, I think he didn't like those body kicks. They seem to be bothering him.
That is nice. It's a nice little technique from Jon Jones. It's like a straight soccer kick to the belly. It's worked a couple times. Oof. Stipe threw a leg kick, and as he threw, Jones underneath kicked the leg that Stipe was using to kick. That was smooth. Straight jab from Jon Jones. Like Stipe threw a kick, and as Stipe was throwing the kick, Jon caught it with his own kick. Oh, Muay Thai clinch. Knee to the body. Less active round here from Jon Jones. Without the takedown, you know, the stand-up is... It's a nice jab there from Jones. But Stipe is definitely hanging in here. Oof. Straight right hand from Stipe. Found a home. A little less active round here from Jon Jones. Not really finding the openings. Stipe keeping him on his toes. Stipe still got power. It's not a convincing round for either guy. Right? Who's winning?
I don't know. It's a tough one to judge. Could go either way, this one.
Close round, not a lot of activity. Another body kick there for Jones, but Stipe's landed a few punches. Jones is landing those little flick kicks, you know? I don't know if that's enough to win this round, though. There you go. There's a nice combo from Stipe. It sends Jon running. You know, you do that towards the end of the round. Oof, nice spinning body kick there from Jon Jones. Nice little hook there from Jones. Interesting second round. Good comeback round for Stipe. Even if he didn't win, it was close, right? He made it close.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if Jon Jones keeps the same pace or pushes it a little bit more.
I think he's got to look for another takedown. I think he's got to get in close and look for another takedown on Stipe because that round was okay, but it wasn't that safe and it wasn't that obviously his. You want to win some rounds here, especially in the early going. This could be 1-1. This could be a 1-1 fight. I think it is 1-1. I think Stipe won the second round.
Yeah, might be.
Jones had one nice body kick, but other than that, I feel like Stipe landed more shots. But it was close. It could really have gone either way.
And here we go.
All right, round 3, Jones and Stipe. Nice jab from Jon Jones. Oh, Stipe coming in strong. Stipe coming in real aggressive. Lands a right hand. Jones able to circle away. I like that aggression from Stipe, though. Jones doesn't look like he really has an answer for it when Stipe comes forward and charges in strong. Jones doesn't really have the counters. He's eating shots and just kind of running away.
Most people seem to have given the round to Jones in the second.
Yeah.
And many people also gave a 10-8 in the first round. So
yeah,
I've read the 2017 from the tweets. A lot of people.
I mean, I could see you scoring the second round for Jones. I get it. But he didn't do much. It wasn't a clear round for Jones. That was a nice body kick from Jon Jones. Nice leg kick. He's keeping Stipe guessing. Oh, nice right hand from Jon Jones. Follows it up with a left. Nice combo. Kick to the leg from Jon Jones. Oh, and a jab. Oh, and a right hand. That one hurt Stipe. The jab hurt him, and the right hand hurt him more. But
careful.
now Stipe firing back as Jones wades in.
Yeah.
Jones has got to be careful, pushing Stipe now up against the fence. Stipe was hurt, but not fully done, and Jones, I think, dropped his guard for half a second, almost got in trouble. But he definitely hurt Stipe there. That was probably the best punch of the fight because you saw Stipe go, ooh, fuck, back away. Stipe looks a little wobbly on his feet now. I think the fatigue is starting to get to him. He hasn't fought in quite some time. He's older. He's fighting Jon Jones. It's a high pace. They're heavyweights. I mean, Stipe looks a little slower here. Stipe just not able to find the range here on Jon Jones. Attacking, trying to get inside, but Jones able to slip and move. Oof, that was a nice jab from Jon Jones. Stiff. Oh, another one. Third round here. Stipe, I think, is in trouble. Although I thought this, wouldn't go more than 2. We're in the third. Jones went for the clinch. Stipe didn't want to engage in the grappling at all, just kind of pushing away. Stipe doesn't want to get taken down. He's avoiding the wrestling. Good little body kick from Jones. They're showing us significant strikes. 62-28 head strikes for Jones. 18-3 body, 10-4 leg. So the numbers firmly in the favor of Jon Jones. Ooh, Stipe pushing forward. Oh, that was a nice left hook from Stipe.
But he didn't follow it with anything.
Nope. He just let Jon Jones push him away and now walk him back into the fence. Oh, body kick, Stipe, that hurt him.
It's over.
Stipe's hurt. It's done. It's done.
Over.
Oh, my God. That spinning kick to the body dropped Stipe. Liver shot.
Hey.
Jones doing a little dance. Is that the Trump dance that he's doing? Did he do the Trump dance after knocking out Stipe? Holy shit.
Trump dance.
Wow. It's the TKO. It's not the submission we were hoping for. That would have been a nice cash-in. But the TKO for Jon Jones. It's a victory. Jon Jones wins. TKO. Round 3. The body kick dropped Stipe. A couple punches after, really unnecessary. Stipe was done. Jon Jones, and still UFC heavyweight champion. Never really in doubt. So there it is. Nice spinning body kick. Oof. Crumpled
It
him.
looked painful.
Those body kicks, man. Like, that was the story of the fight, right? Kicks to the body, kicks to the body, kicks to the body. You saw Stipe's body start getting welted up. Those body kicks were the most effective strike for Jon Jones and won him the fight. They must have seen something. Oof. Nice spin kick to the body, man. For that strike to be the death blow is pretty impressive. For Jones to be able to hit that spin body kick and to finish Stipe with that is very nice. Stipe's on the stool, disappointed. Dana White giving him words of encouragement. And there's Jon Jones about to do the official announcement for his victory. Jones wins again. No shit, right? No one is surprised. Stipe put on a good fight, though. You know? Did what he could.
Decent
Jon
fight.
Jones. Yeah, it's a good fight.
Stipe should probably retire, though.
Yeah. I think Jones beats Aspinall. I think this version of Jones can beat Aspinall. I think it might be close. Might be tough. But I think he does it. All right, Jones getting interviewed now by Joe Rogan. Let's see what he says. What's next? He did it again. That was a good fight. Jon Jones giving credit to Stipe, saying he's very, very good, very durable, very tough. Yeah. Jon Jones saying, Stipe's tough, but you get hit in the liver, you go down. That's just how it works. And he was working those body kicks all fight, showing us replay of some of the work. And this was part of the game plan for Jon Jones, he's saying. Greatest of all time. Best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Come on, guys. I don't agree with Dana White about everything, but with that, there's no debate. Greatest of all time, best pound-for-pound. Johnny Bones Jones. There's nobody better. Another amazing performance from the greatest of all time. Now, Rogan is asking him the Aspinall question, the Pereira fight, the retirement. What's up? And they're showing Aspinall on the screen. Wow. He's not answering the question. He is thanking Jesus instead. Wow. Huh. Thanking Jesus. And now Octagon. Oh, he's saying he's not going to retire. Uh-oh. Fred, he's saying he's not going to retire.
I've said it since the beginning.
Hold on. He's saying if everything goes right with the negotiations, maybe I'll give you what we want to see.
Super chat, super chat, super chat.
So he's
super chat, super chat.
He's thanking Donald Trump for being there. And he's saying that there's a lot of options, whether he's not saying Aspinall or Pereira, whoever. He's just saying there's a lot of options, and they'll negotiate with the UFC, and they'll see. And now Jones is starting a USA chant. Doug Hepburn dropping a super chat. He says, thanks, boys, and thanks, Jesus Christ. All right, there you go. Oof. Jon Jones says he's proud to be a Christian American champion. Oh, boy. All right. Take it easy. Take it easy. Oh, is Stipe retiring? They're talking to Stipe now. Oh boy.
Super chat.
Oh, they're
Super
interviewing
chat.
Stipe, but
Super
Stipe's
chat.
talking,
Super
so we
chat.
don't understand
Super chat.
anything he's saying, right?
Pretty much.
It's not punch drunk. It's not CTE. It's just how he always speaks. Incomprehensible. He's American, but Stipe just seems sad. Rogan's like, "Are you gonna retire or what, Stipe?" Oh, Stipe is like, "Yeah, I'm hanging him up. I'm retiring. Thanks, guys." If Rogan didn't ask him that, like, we would not have known. Oh, so Stipe is retiring. He's gonna take off the gloves. He's wrapping up the career. He's done. That was Stipe's last fight. Makes sense. Oh my God, John Jones just gave the belt to Donald Trump. Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he? Sure. Cool. That's nice. I mean, yeah, suck up to the president. It seems like a good move, right? You probably don't lose doing that. Mr. Trump, please, I love you. You're my man. You know? I mean,
Maybe he just loves it, man.
Yeah,
You
I'm just
gotta be so
saying, like,
cynical.
having a good relationship with the president of the United States is not a bad move if you're an American citizen. What?
All right, man.
You're thinking I'm saying
enough.
everything in like a sinister way, Fred. I'm not. I'm saying, yes, suck up to Trump. It's a good move. He's gonna be the president. You want that guy in your corner. You know, what if John Jones doesn't pay his taxes? Don't you want a guy that you could call and be like, hey, man, call off the dogs? No? Seems like a good move. All right. Johnny says Dave is mad. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about.
I think you're mad a little bit. You should sleep on it.
I'm not mad. I really don't give a shit. I expect these guys to be there, Fred. I just think that I have the right to make fun of them a bit. It's funny. I would make fun of anybody that's there. I make fun of all the people. I think you guys are a little too sensitive when I make fun of Trump, like I would make fun of anybody else that's a celebrity that's cage side at a UFC fight. I make fun of all of them, man. You guys are too sensitive. These Trump fans, man, these Trump supporters, you guys are too sensitive about your boy.
I mean, you're the one talking nonstop.
It's being brought up, bro. They keep showing him on screen. I got to talk about what I'm seeing on the TV. They keep showing him. Crazy. All right. That's good. Patrick C. Hamilton dropping a super chat, the 777. Thank you, Patrick. He says, too much Trump. I was hoping for a rest from him for a little bit. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Patrick. Like, it's, like, I don't want to see politics when I watch UFC. I don't want to see politics ever. I just want to see UFC. AJ says Dave is a Trump fan.
But
no, I'm
but
not.
but
I
are you
don't
as
really like him.
vocal?
I don't like.
Are
any
you
of
as
them.
vocal when it's lefty politics? You're pretty silent when it's lefty
Bro,
politics.
when are they
It seems
ever
to be-
there on TV?
Oh,
when,
come on,
like,
man.
Tell me when they're in the UFC, and then I
Not
will
in the
fucking say
UFC,
something.
but on the rest of TV, it's always there.
I don't comment on the rest of TV. I don't watch the rest of TV. I don't know what you're talking about when you're talking about the NFL and the NBA and the shit they do there. I don't watch those sports. I don't give a fuck about those sports. I don't see any kind of lefty commentary when I watch baseball. It just seems like baseball. I didn't see any political commentary when I watched baseball. I just saw them play baseball.
All right, man. Let's go to bed.
Find me some shit in fucking baseball, Fred, where they were doing lefty shit in the Yankees season.
I mean,
I didn't see a goddamn thing.
Not the Yankees, but the Dodgers last year were pretty
Bro, it's California.
out there.
It's California. What do you want? It's Los Angeles. It's what they do. I don't know what the Dodgers were up to. They're losers. You know? Come on, man. Crazy.
They're winners. World champ.
Okay. But I'm just saying, I don't need this shit in sports. It's unnecessary in sports. John Jones wins. I'm just reading the super chat that Patrick said, you know? John Jones wins. My parlay wins. Fred's parlay wins. AJ's parlay loses because AJ sucks and can't pick a fight. He said Mike Tyson was going to beat Jake Paul. You suck, AJ. And AJ deserves all the shit talking that I give him because he didn't even do the watch along tonight. He's in the chat and didn't do the watch along, and I'm not really clear why. So, thanks. All right, guys. That was UFC 309. John Jones wins, and he says he's not retiring. So, that's cool. Will he fight Aspinall? Will he fight Pereira? We'll talk about it Thursday night, right here on the Ringside Report Network.
Thanks for sticking with us to the end. We would really appreciate it if you could help us spread the word. Please share this episode on whichever social media platform you use. Add a comment below and consider reviewing us on Apple Podcasts. We are an audience-supported network, so consider becoming a recurring supporter at membership.ringsidereport.net. Check out our website at ringsidereport.net. Hope to see you again next time and have a good night.